What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm reviewing the third Purge movie, which is called Election Year. I watched it on 4K Ultra HD from Universal. I love the premise of the Purge. It's one of my favorite horror thriller premises of all time. I just think there's so much potential there. Obviously, the first movie they locked you inside of a house, so you missed out on most of what makes the Purge so cool. In the second movie, we got to be out in the middle of the Purge, but we were with people who were super boring and just really forgettable characters, which definitely dampened the fun and excitement of being out in the chaos. In the third movie, we kind of take a political slant on things, but I think it's the best of the three movies, or at least it's the most fun. I do miss the freaks, but otherwise I think this one is the best movie in the series. It follows a politician who is on the verge of perhaps winning, and her main running point was that she was going to shut down the Purge. And by no coincidence, on the eve of the Purge, it's announced that this year no one is immune, so politicians can be taken out as well. She refuses to, go into some big, huge bunker to hide out. She doesn't want to send the wrong message to the voters. She wants them to know that, she's not some rich elitist, that she's just going to be in her house like everybody else. Sarge from the second movie is back in this one, and he's the head of security, even though it's supposed to be like years later. He looks exactly the same, which is kind of odd, but whatever. So he ends up trying to protect her, and of course, there's government conspiracies, and so, stuff happens. He tries to keep her alive. Then we also have like a side thread that follows a group of people who all know each other from this deli. The deli owner is no longer able to afford his Purge insurance, so he has to remain there and protect it himself. One of the guys who works for him comes up to help him out, and then a friend of theirs is out in like a EMT van, and out there like helping wounded people and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like wheels in motion here, and eventually, of course, all the forces come together. I did like this movie. I think it's the best of the series. It's cool, once again, to be out in the streets in the middle of the chaos. And I do think the characters are a lot more memorable and colorful this time. While I do greatly miss the freaks, we have this all-female Purge squad in this movie that is awesome. They have crazy outfits, super awesome masks. They've got like cars covered in Christmas lights. It's just super colorful and memorable, and it like pops, and it makes you like, sit up and take notice of these characters. So I was glad to have some more cool, like, Purgers in this one, because the second movie, all the Purge people were pretty boring and, kind of lame. So it's nice to have big, colorful characters again. Another thing that I liked about this one is they talked about foreigners coming over for, like, murder tourism. Like, they would come over during the Purge just to take part in it. And they have some really creepy, cool masks as well, and they're, like, a cool, very brief part of the movie, but it's pretty memorable. And so it's just cool to have some big, colorful characters and be out in the middle of the Purge. So it's really fun. It still is way too preachy for me. I just want a crazy movie about rampant murder, crime, and sleaze, and this series just is hell-bent on pushing this paper-thin political and social commentary. But I guess at this point you just have to accept that that's what they're going to do. They don't really care about fun. They just want to push this message that they have. There's not a lot of blood in this one. It's mostly CGI like always. Blumhouse absolutely seems to hate practical effects. So we just get a bunch of really crappy cartoonish CGI, which definitely hurts the movie, because even though it does have kind of a campy vibe to it at times, it's also got a pretty serious tone. And when you have cartoon quality blood, it just kind of dampens the whole experience. No sleaze whatsoever. The girl Purge crew has some skimpy outfits, but that's about as far as it goes. It does have a little bit of fun dialogue. The Purge crew is a lot of fun. They're super bitchy and catty, and bring a little bit of dysfunction and drama into the movie. And then McKelty Williamson, who was Bubba in Forrest Gump, he's got a funny line of "Goodbye, blue cheese," which I just thought was a really funny line. But that's about it. So as far as craziness, aside from the female Purgers, there's really not that much crazy going on in the movie. I do think, though, it's a fun movie. It's definitely watchable, super brisk. The pacing is really good. I just wish we could have like a really crazy Purge movie instead of this like safe thriller that you could take your grandparents to. Even so, though, I thought this was the best of the lot. Definitely a fun movie at times, but again, just doesn't make great use of the Purge premise. I watched it in 4K Ultra HD. I thought it was fine. And a recurring theme for this series, I didn't think it was a massive improvement over the Blu-ray, but since you get both of them in one package, it doesn't really matter. again, solid, but you know, I don't know. I just don't, honestly, I think a lot of these are just 2K up converts. I don't know if it's true in these cases, and I can't say for sure, but there are very few of the UHD releases to me that offer a significant or, you know, super noticeable improvement over the Blu-rays. If you like this review, please do check out my website, markfusion.com. You can check out full write-ups of all 3 Purge movies there, as well as a ton of other horror cult exploitation, all kinds of movies, video games, TV shows. You can also follow me on Instagram at Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. I say that like I goof that up so much. At Mark Fusion. You also check out my Patreon for exclusive content. I'm gonna have a bunch of like audio only reviews there, as well as some like triple features, really weird, odd triple feature coverage there. But the best way you can support me is definitely just to press that sub button. It's free and easy and really helps me out. That's a concrete way to help me build my site and this channel. I greatly appreciate you watching these videos, and hopefully I'll see you soon.